Hello, Nazli. I tried to get to this as soon as I could, but my son ended up going in the hospital for overnight with his asthma, so I got behind again on these readings. Anyway, so these are the two cards I picked first. These are the oracle cards I have. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. In action. So I think this is in reference to any doubts you're having about this relationship, or if it's not this relationship, any relationship. I'm not sure yet if it's him, if it's somebody else, but it's definitely time for you to allow yourself to love again. I'm going to get the book that I have. Well, it's missing. No, it isn't. Here it is. All right, let me just look up the action card and see what the book says. I probably won't read it all, but I'll hold it up so that if you want to, you can pause it and read it yourself. Energizing effort, willingness to work. This card tells you that now is the time for more aggressive forward movement. The galloping horses represent intentional and concerned action directed to your goals. This card upright indicates that you are on the right track, but your determined efforts must increase. The white horse is inner action of spirit and thought. The black is the outer work that still needs to be done. So continue taking action and trust your intuition. In time, you'll break through and see the results you've been working so hard to create. And then this is the shadow card. So I don't know if there's some other person in the background who's being manipulative regarding this situation, or if this is about some shadow side of you that you're unaware of, where you're, I don't know how that would work in this situation, though. Like if you're trying to manipulate the situation in your favor in some way, I don't get that sense, though, because you said that he's kind of quiet. He avoids you. You avoid each other at work. So if this is not some aspect of you, this might be another person in the background that could be manipulating him in some way, that's making it hard for him to be forthcoming about how he feels about you and you know, following through on this connection that the two of you have. Now this is the card, this is the overall theme here. And this is about financial prosperity, financial abundance, financial security. So you did talk also about, you know, that he's a doctor and that you are not as established as he is. But regardless, you know, this is about the financial security right here. And this is also about the financial security. But it's the 10. The other card was the 9, and this is the 10. And this is the card that represents you. So I don't think that's an issue. Even though you feel like you're not as established as he is, you still have the security in your own right for yourself. And then the conflict is this. This is the Hermit card. So in fact, it says the Virgo card. This is the card that represents Virgo, which is what he is. So maybe it's just about him being shy. Maybe it's that part of him where he's very withdrawn and shy and isolated, and he spends time alone. And that's the conflict, is because of all of those qualities within a Virgo that makes him kind of hide from you in a sense. And this is the foundation of the reading, which is the Moon card. Not everything is as it seems. So there may be something else behind the scenes that you're not aware of about another person. This card can also represent a person who's a Cancer or a Pisces. So I don't know if there is some other woman in the background that you're just not aware of. You were with a Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign, so that would show up as a water sign, or the Death card is a Scorpio as well. But this is about not everything is as it seems, or it's about a Cancer or a Pisces, or it may be some other woman here that's kind of like controlling him to some degree in the background. What's under her? Sometimes does he's younger. Does he have any children? Because this is the card that represents the father. So does he have a child that you're not aware of, maybe? Or, maybe something about his child is causing him to not date or connect. You didn't say that. You said he had been previously engaged. But this is the father archetype. It's also a person who's an Aries. Unless this is about just some other woman in the background, or if that had anything at all to do with his previous engagement with another person. Now, this is in the past. So it's either about somebody who's a Leo, or it's about you having the strength to get over whatever was going on in your past. If it's not a Leo, if there's not a Leo involved in the past for you. Now, in the present is about you achieving your goals. This is having success and a victory and achieving your goals, which is a really fantastic card to have. Like, this is a really beautiful card. This is in your present energies. So I think, there's a lot here about you and being very successful in the kind of work that you do. You didn't say what you do or, in your office, what exactly your role is, but there's definitely some indication of success and financial security on your part. Now, this is the near future. This is the Judgment card. If there's another woman in the background this could literally be some kind of a lawsuit where this person is just not a very nice person and she's trying to manipulate some situation with him. The Judgment card can also be about rebirth and renewal and a change in your life, some new phase in your life, some new aspect of your life that you're entering into in your near future. It's rebirth and renewal. So let me see what else I can get. So this shows the High Priestess is a person who's very spiritual. If that has to do with maybe it's about like awakening spiritual gifts within you or healing gifts within you. Like if you're using, I don't know what you do. You didn't say what you do, but this would show up for somebody who uses their healing energy, like it's like Reiki, or there's so many different modalities people can use, and I'm only becoming aware of them now. It's any kind of energy healing that people are using. So maybe this is about just talking about a new phase in your life that you're entering into, using your gifts, using healing gifts that you have with other people. Even if it's a massage therapist, if it's Reiki, if it's any kind of energy work that you're doing, past life regression, what are some of the other things? Somebody just made me aware of other kind of healing modalities that are being used where you have to tap into your spiritual gifts. But then this shows the Lover's card as well in the near future. So it's something about tapping into your spiritual gifts. But then here's this Lover's card. Is this him or is it somebody else? That's the thing that, unless it had, like, he's a Virgo, which would be a Knight of Pentacles or a King of Pentacles, which isn't what shows up here. But it may be, if there's some new change in your life using your spiritual gifts, it's finding a lover through that experience. Is it him or not? I don't know. Now, this is how you feel on the inside. So you're feeling this is about conflicts. You're very conflicted about your feelings. You're conflicted about what you think, what you feel, what you want from him. Is it him that you're going to end up with? Or, I don't know, but it's conflicts within you that are preventing you from really loving another person, because here's this message that it's safe for you to love again. I'm going to show you this picture up close. Sometimes there's so much going on in these pictures that I don't even notice them all. But it's definitely the right time for you to open your heart and to love, even though you're feeling conflicted. Or if you feel like there's some competition, sometimes that card also represents competition. That's how you feel inside right now. Now, this is a person in your environment. So this is the sneaky thief card. So it's either a person who's literally stealing, if he's stealing your heart, or if this is about somebody who's sneaking around. This is where the moon card, not everything is as it seems. Sneaking around in the dark, not letting everybody know what's going on. So if this is something about him sneaking around in the dark, and there's something about him that's unknown. Something about him is in the dark and is a secret. He's keeping something. He's being sneaky about something, I think. But what? Doesn't mean it's a negative thing. It just means he's keeping something secret. He's got some kind of secret. I'm going to see what else comes up. Because that's just talking about a person in your environment who's sneaking around, or they're trying to get away with something, or they're literally stealing. But in relationship readings, it's usually about, especially with this moon card, it's about sneaking around. Sometimes that would show up like these two together might indicate some kind of an affair. So here's this Queen of Rods comes up. This is a person who would be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Queen of Rods also for me will show up for somebody who's a mistress, especially when I'm talking about this person who's sneaking around. I don't know if he's got another woman that he's just, nobody knows about it because maybe he's having an affair with a married woman. I'll get one more to see what comes up there. I think there's something about him you're just not aware of. And this is the generosity card. Either he's being very generous with this woman or she's being very generous with him. Unless, like I showed this, the father card underneath this. Unless he's got a daughter that you're unaware of who would be a fire sign. And maybe she's something that maybe she's the secret. Maybe he's got a daughter that he doesn't talk about. That was, whatever reason, if it's out of wedlock or whatever the case may be. But this is the generosity card where he might be paying to support this person. Whoever that Queen of Rods is, he might be paying money to support her. I don't know that it's a child. I only say that because that Emperor card came up underneath here previously. Unless it's some woman on the side that he's having an affair with, that he's being generous towards this other person, this Queen of Rods, whoever she is. Because you're an Aquarius, that wouldn't be you. You would be represented by the Queen of Swords. So I think there's something about him you're not aware of. Now this is your hopes and fears, and you're afraid of somebody leaving you. You're afraid of being left out in the cold and being left again. You're just afraid of that. That's something you're afraid of. And that's why it's hard for you to open your heart. But it's okay to open your heart. It's okay for that. There is a lover in your future. I just don't know if it's him. The cards aren't telling me who it is. Because now this Rods energy comes up again in the final outcome. This popped up before, and I started to doubt the cards that I had there. So I picked up the cards that were there. I reshuffled them. I have to meditate to get myself in that state of mind, in the proper state of mind. And then out he comes again. So there may be another person altogether that comes into your life who's a fire sign. This is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now, the other meaning of this card potentially is the fire sign is that physical passion, that desire that you feel for him, that he feels for you. So maybe the Queen of Rods could be referring to you and your sexual attraction to him. Like if this is you and he, this would indicate the sexual attraction that you both have with each other. So if this is just about his sexual attraction to you, this is the great unknown when I'm doing these readings because I can't say specifically what it is. You have to let life play out and see what happens. The cards aren't real forthcoming about who it is. There's just some kind of sneaking around that's taking place. And then here's this Knight of Rods. So it may be another person altogether who's an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And this card sometimes represents a Sagittarius for me because Sagittarius people are very optimistic people, very happy people. And that's what this card represents. This is a card about happiness, optimism, and joy, which is in your near future. You've got happiness and joy coming for you, but it may be a Sagittarius person, because these two cards together will be somebody who's a Sagittarius. So there may be a different person altogether. And then here's the marriage card. Here's the Hierophant. This is another one that came out, and I put it back because I wanted to be absolutely certain. I don't want to put out a card that talks about marriage for you. I put it back, and they both came out again. Both of these cards were out before, and I put them both back, and I reshuffled, and they both came out again a second time. So this card here is about marriage, and this card here is this Knight of Rods. So is it him or somebody else? That's the thing I don't know, because this could just mean your sexual attraction to this man and your sexual desires, and this is just the happiness and joy in your future. You have a good future. Is it him or is it somebody else? That's the thing I can't be completely sure of. Because you do have this Lover's card is showing up in your near future. You do definitely hook up with somebody. But I think there's something about your spiritual gifts. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about and you're thinking to yourself, no, I don't think so, I don't have these spiritual gifts, then there may be some awakening for you that's going to take place, that you will develop some spiritual gifts. You might have some aha moment. But this is about this new phase, entering this new phase in your life with these spiritual gifts. So that's what I'm seeing. That's the only meaning for that High Priestess there. Now, the other thing it means okay, I take that back, because sometimes this will pop out for a non-traditional marriage. If it's a non-traditional union with some person, whatever that would mean, whatever that would represent. I have seen this card come up for a woman who was married to another woman, because it's a non-traditional marriage. Whereas the traditional marriage is the Hierophant card. So I really don't think that's this is not talking about, a lesbian marriage for you, but it may be some non-traditional relationship that you're having with somebody, with this lover, if it's not talking about your spiritual gifts. But really, I do think it's more about your spiritual gifts and meeting this person through that experience and through the kind of work that you do. Now, do you do some of that work where you are now? Are you, I don't know what you do. Are you a massage therapist? Do you do energy work or energy healing of any kind with these people? And this is this Lover's card in your near future for sure. Absolutely. Who is it? I don't know. I wish out would pop a card because he's not represented here in the reading. He's an earth sign and he's not really represented. I've got the Queen of Rods is here. The Knight of Rods is over here. So this is somebody in your environment here who's sneaking around, but who's being very generous towards this. This is not a child. This is a woman. A child would show up as a page. There's other cards to represent children. I don't think this is about a child. I think this is another woman. He might be sneaking around with another woman, having an affair with another woman, and you don't know that because he's not going to talk openly about that. She might be a married woman, and that's what the secret is. The Moon card is about secrets. So he might have some secret affair, secret liaison with another woman, and she's the Shadow card. She might be the person behind the scenes who's manipulating, she's casting her spell on him. Even though you've got the sexual attraction with him, there may be some other person. I'll pull one more card. I might regret it because usually when I do more than 3, then I regret it. But I want to get one more card for the future outcome. Actually, I'll do this is I'll ask Spirit, give me a card, one more card for him. Like what's going on with him to give clarity with this Physician. There's nothing here that's telling me Physician, nothing that's telling me Virgo, other than this conflict here. Your conflict is with this Virgo and your attraction to this Virgo, but I think there's more about him you just are not aware of. That's the only appearance he makes in this reading. the rest of it talks about you achieving your goals, that you're afraid of committing because of being afraid of somebody leaving you, but it's safe for you to love. And then this action, what is this action? That's for you to interpret. You know, what is Spirit trying to tell you about action? There might be something else going on in your life that's in regards to. Initially, I thought, well, maybe it's about you taking action to tell him how you feel and to reveal your thoughts to him, but that doesn't seem to be what's coming up. I think it's taking action about something else. All right, Spirit, give me one more card about him. Okay. Oh, yep, threesome. He's involved with somebody who's married, or there's something sneaky about him. Here's this threesome card. Like, there's another person somewhere in his life that he's got a secret. That's what this Three of Cups is all about, especially when I asked for a card for him. There's some secret affair, or he had an affair. There's just something about him that you're just not aware of. There's something probably involved with, you know, this is the sneaky card. This is the person who's being sneaky. This is the card in a relationship reading that'll show having an affair. The Queen of Rods for me is always about a mistress. So he might be with a married woman, and he's being very generous to this married woman because she could be manipulating him. You know, maybe she's using him for his money, and he's just handing her money, and you know, and all of these are about secrets, a secret affair that's going on with him. I think that's what's going on. So that's just what I'm getting. You know, you follow your heart, do what you feel you need to do about him, about the situation. But I think regardless of all of that, there's definitely love in the future for you. You've got love here and even marriage. You know, this is all about marriage, and there's a high potential for a man who's a Sagittarius in your future. That's what I'm seeing here for you. The other card that represents Sagittarius would be, let me think about this for a minute. There's another card for Sagittarius, Temperance. The Temperance card didn't come out, but this card to me, yeah, there's definitely somebody else in your future coming for you. So that's what I see. You know, does that mean if he asks you out on a date, do you say no? No, you have to just do what you feel right in your heart. You know, if you feel, because you know, what if I'm wrong? What if all of this is BS and I'm totally wrong, and then you give up an opportunity? But I think ultimately the main message here is to open yourself up to love. You know, if you've got that sexual attraction to him, it exists. It just is what it is. Does that mean it's going to turn into something permanent? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think there's somebody else coming for you. All right, Nazli, there you go. Thank you so much. Take care.